Hello, this is Holly Hawkins, the Data Solution Specialist here at Region 9. I'm super excited to work with your district, both with Eduphoria and with our data-driven instruction teams. You really have some empowering tools right at your fingertips. One of the things that we will need from your district before we can come on your campus and meet with your teachers is a quick view set up in Eduphoria. We need this to be done at the local level because this is a local assessment. We ask that whoever has permissions or roles, it could be an administrator or a teacher that has permissions tied to their account, create a quick view and share it out so that we are prepared for our data-driven instruction meeting. In order to create the quick view, you will need to select the local assessment under Analyze and Aware. This is demo data for me, so I'm just choosing an old test. One thing that is very important is that we come through and we choose our assessment and we click Save, click OK. Then it's going to let me save it as a new view. So I'm going to come over here next to Save as a new view, and click OK. Then it's going to allow me to edit the name of that. One thing I cannot stress enough is the vocabulary that you use when discussing these assessments. If your district chooses to call them interims, we want the word interim on every single one of these reports. If it's benchmarks, we want benchmarks. If it's checkpoints, checkpoints. Every district is a little bit different. So for the sake of just being consistent right now, I'm going to go ahead and call this a checkpoint. And so I'm going to put DDI, and maybe this is the second checkpoint for my district. So I'm going to go ahead and put checkpoint 2, and then I'm going to call this report the overview. So this is DDI checkpoint 2 overview. See how specific it is, and it's using my vocabulary? So at that point, I'm going to come over here and down to the bottom corner and click Update. Notice my title has changed. I'm also going to edit my columns. So I'm going to come in here to Edit. And I'm going to, here's my assessment I'm looking at, but I'm going to go ahead and go to my columns, and I'm going to target exactly what we're going to discuss in our DDI meeting. So the first thing, I'm just going to go ahead and clear all these off. The first thing that we're going to discuss is the performance levels. So we're going to need to come in here where it says scores, and we want to look at approaches, meets, and masters. Then we want to look at our learning standards. So we're going to go ahead and click all learning standards. And this is where we're going to look at our student expectations. And then we're also going to come down here to responses and click all responses. And this is where we're actually going to look at the test, the item analysis of the test. So at that point, I'm going to click update as well. And notice that it's putting all this demographics on here. This is how it's summarizing my results. So I want to come up here and go back to edit. And I want to click on the summarize tab. And I'm just going to clear that off. We don't really need that in our discussion, so we're going to take that off at the moment. Now notice because I'm in demo data, it's got all my campuses here. You're only going to be looking at one campus, so your view is going to be much simpler. So just for right now, I'm going to go in. You will not have to do this. I'm going to add one more button over here, and just so that my data looks similar to yours. And I'm going to go ahead. I know you guys will probably only have one campus, but unfortunately in demo data, I have several. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I have a yellow campus in here. And I'm going to update where only the yellow campus shows. Okay, so here's my campus. And I've got the quick view set up, and it right now is running by comparing across groups. And so it's kind of stringing everything out along here. If I change it to compare across tests, so I'm going to click this button here, it's going to create a much cleaner view for my teachers. So here, the first discussion we have will be our performance levels. Then you'll see the SEs. And this is important to keep this digital. You want your teachers to log in and pull up this quick view, because notice that when I hover over it, it tells me what that student expectation is. So I want to make sure that I'm being able to hover over these. Okay. And then we're going to come down here to the actual test itself, test question, the reporting category, SEs, and over here, This is where it's breaking down the test for me, telling me which answer was correct, the incorrect answers, and the percentage of my kids that answered each. Okay, so I'm going to hit save at this point, and it has saved my view. So now when I come over here to my saved views, I see DDI reports, checkpoint 2, overview. This is the one I want, DDI checkpoint 2, overview. Now I can come over here and click share, and I can share that with all my teachers and hit submit. That way, when my teachers go to their quick views, they will also see it. So we just need somebody in your district that has this role of making quick views and sharing them out to go build this for us. Again, if you go to edit and you go to columns, you'll see exactly how to build it. We're going to leave summarize blank. So the only thing that's in tables is the test that you choose to work with. Your columns is the data that we will discuss in the meeting. And then you can put summarize and clean it off. Okay. You're going to click save. And there's your quick view. Remember, when you go in the meeting, if teachers are looking at it like this and it's strung out, remind them to click here to compare across text, and it will be much cleaner and easier to read. The second quick view that we want to build, so we're going to go ahead and take this and extend this. We want a second report, second quick view. So we're going to go ahead and click Save as New View. Say OK. Now it's going to let me rename it. And this one I am going to call checkpoint 2, but this one I need, this is student data. And this is looking very specifically at each student. And when we look specifically, zooming in a little bit, we're going to hit update. And so now we're going to come back and we're still working with the same test, but in our columns, we're going to clear all this off. And we're just going to look at their responses. Okay, so we're just going to look at all responses. Click update. Oh, one other thing I forgot is we're also going to pull over their percent score. So we're going to go to scores, percent score, and we're going to put it at the top. Now, remember, you won't have to do this, but I have to do this because I have so many campuses and demo data that I'm going to narrow down my data here by administration information testing campus. I'm going to add this filter just so it doesn't get crazy. Contains yellow. Okay, so now your campus will look like this. Okay, and when you have the student responses here, we're going to go ahead and this time we're going to choose the compare across groups. And we're going to come over here to the far one over here, and we're going to click the individual student button. We want to see each one of the kids, how they answered each question, and we want to sort these. So one thing that's neat about pulling up a quick view versus handing it out on paper is that it stays digital. So we want to come over here and we want to click the percent score, and we want to click it twice. We want our top kids performing at the top of the report. And that way we can see, is there a question that a lot of our top kids are missing? And here, when it gets into here, it looks like number 7 could be one that we might want to discuss. So this is what's neat about this report. It takes all the students' responses, puts our percent scores at the top, and it really lets us have some great discussion. So we're going to hit save. Now we've got this set up. And now if I come over here, I've got my my DDI checkpoint 2 student data under my saved views, and I can come over here and click share, and I can share it with all my teachers. So this will really help the conversation, having these 2 saved quick views out, shared with your teachers, so that when we show up, we just ask them to log into Eduphoria and pull up their 2 shared quick views, and we can have some great conversation that hopefully will really see your students advance in their instruction. Thank you.